Welcome back to Public Counsel's Giving Tuesday Facebook Live session. Thanks for tuning in. I'm David Bubis, Director of Philanthropy at Public Counsel, and we have a great treat today, at this session at least. We're going to be talking about our Veterans Advancement Project, right? And with us is David Daniels, who is the acting directing attorney for the project, who will be telling us a little bit about that work within the Veterans Advancement work, and introduce two other guests that we have to give further comment and tell some stories about our work with veterans. So, David?
Sure. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here, and happy Giving Tuesday. And to my right is Russ Petty, who is a very distinguished attorney in private practice here in Los Angeles. We're going to talk to Russ a little bit more about the pro bono work, the fantastic pro bono work he's done for clients in our Center for Veterans Advancement. And to his right is Amanda Pertusati, who is staff attorney with the Center for Veterans Advancement. And to get us started, Amanda, maybe you could just tell our audience a little bit more about the Center for Veterans Advancement and what it does.
Yeah, so with the Center for Veterans Advancement, we represent veterans and their caregivers across the nation and internationally. You know, we primarily see veterans from the Vietnam, Gulf, and post 9/11 eras, but we assist veterans of all eras the same as their caregivers. Right now, we really focus on assisting with VA benefits, discharge upgrades, expungements, tickets, and getting veterans who may be deemed ineligible access to VA health care. And the reason that this is really crucial is because these are life-changing for a vet. They can get monetary compensation from the VA, get access to health care for their service-connected disabilities, or really remove barriers to housing, employment, or any other type of issues that they're having with our representation.
Terrific. Yeah, I think, one of the things I think it would be really helpful for our audience to understand and kind of sort of get a better sense of the work we do is to focus on a case in particular that I think is both emblematic of the diversity of issues that the veterans population experiences, and also is emblematic of the pro bono assistance that they need. So, and that's again why we've got our wonderful pro bono attorney here, Russ Petty, to talk about that. But first, I thought, Amanda, if you could sort of share a bit about this particular case involving BJ, a veteran that came to us needing assistance, kind of set the stage and the story of that client, and then we'll bring Russ in to talk about the real success story of that case.
Great. So BJ was a current client that I had involving service-connected disability benefits. And his wife, Dede, contacted me about an issue they were having with an insurance company. And it's important to note that BJ is a 90% service-connected Navy veteran and a Navy SEAL. So unfortunately, his disabilities are very severe, both mentally and physically. And so while BJ was in service, he got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer due to burn pit exposure. The cancer was removed, as well as his pancreas, and he was subsequently medically discharged. After his discharge, BJ went on to work for a large international bank as a vice president of a department. But through his work, his disabilities became more severe, and he unfortunately lost his job. While working for that company, though, he got a catastrophic disability insurance plan. And for about 4 years, he was collecting benefits under that plan. Until about, mid-2018, he got a letter saying that his benefits were being revoked on the basis that he no longer qualifies for that plan. At that point, Public Counsel came together and was like, what can we do to help this veteran? And that's where the pro bono support of Mr. Petty came in. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Petty to talk about what happened when he first got this case and was contacted by Public Counsel.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Russ Petty, and first off, let me apologize to everybody here for not being with the dress code. I actually don't have a Give Justice T-shirt, but I understand I'm going to get one after the program is over, and hopefully I'll be better dressed next time that we do this. I'm a former major in the Marine Corps. When I went into the Marine Corps, it wasn't really a lot of deep thinking involved. I was an absolutely terrible student in college, and my grades were bad, and my options pretty much boiled down to going to work for my dad or joining the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps sounded easier. And turned out it was a wonderful choice. they taught me how to fly airplanes, and I got to see a lot of things and do a lot of things that most people don't get to see and do, and I got to do them in the company of some really wonderful people that when you go through hard times together, you tend to bond and learn that you can trust each other and rely on each other, and the whole experience was great. And I almost stayed in forever, except at some point you got to decide what you're going to do when you grow up. It's like the joke that we say, what's the difference between the Marine Corps and the Boy Scouts? Well, the Marine Corps, the Boy Scouts have adult supervision. So, I decided everybody else from the squadron was going to fly for the airlines, and I'll let everybody in on a real secret. Okay, that guy who's flying the big gray bird, for United or Southwest, who's in the front, he is bored to tears, because there's nothing more boring in the world than flying around at 32,000 feet on the airways. And so I decided to go to law school, and spent some time after that in a big firm, and then some time as a prosecutor, and some time defending insurance companies from bad faith and ERISA claims, and then at some point. Some guy pulled me aside, some guy I had a case against, and said I needed to take off the black hat and put on the white hat. And for the past 15 years, I've been representing people like BJ. So when I got the call from Amanda to see if I can help, it's kind of what I do for a living.
Terrific. And when you got the call, sort of what was going on in the case, or what were sort of the tactical decisions you sort of had to make, and how did that all look?
Okay, well, the real key to the case, and sort of what drove our early strategy, was whether the case was governed by ERISA or by state law. For those of you lucky enough never to have heard of ERISA, in 1974, the federal government, in its infinite wisdom, decided to federalize the field of employee benefits. And they provided claimants who had their claims denied with very limited remedies, such that, you go to trial and you win, all you really get are your benefits. There's no punitives, there's no consequential damages, there's no bad faith damages. And so there really isn't any incentive for some insurance companies to deny claims that are sort of on the margin, or even claims they know are payable, because, there's no sanction involved. So the insurance company in this case was taking the position this was governed by ERISA. I had my doubts whether it was or not, but Amanda and I, we put our heads together, and we decided that if we treated it as a bad faith case and filed a lawsuit right away, it's entirely possible some judge down the road would say it's governed by ERISA, and we haven't haven't exhausted our remedies. So we decided to play conservative and pretend it was an ERISA case, and exhaust our administrative remedies before we filed a lawsuit.
Terrific. And so a little bit more. How did the case progress, and sort of what was the ultimate outcome? How did that look?
Well, okay, there were really two facets. Thank you, facets. Yeah, to getting a good result, and one of them was finding the right expert. BJ had serious neuropsych issues with respect to his cognitive function, which the doctors think were caused by a brain injury that he suffered when he was in the service of this country. And the question is how disabling are those? How much can you do, and how much can't you do? Well, the way to figure that out is to get neuropsych testing. And as a matter of fact, the insurance company right off the bat told me they wanted to do neuropsych testing to send BJ out to one of their doctors. Now that's a difficult situation for a lawyer in my situation, because excuse me for being cynical, but a lot of times a lot of people who do what I do for a living think that the insurance companies tend to select doctors that are going to give them favorable results that allow them to deny claims. And so, I didn't really want BJ to do the neuropsych with the insurance company doctor, but on the other hand, I couldn't say no because that's a policy requirement that you do that. So I stalled, and then, Amanda and I, we talked about it some, and we decided kind of the thing to do was to get our own neuropsych evaluation, and we would have that done with a guy that we could trust to come to a fair result. And on top of that, it would you can't have two neuropsych exams one right after another, and so it would sort of take away the ability of the insurance company to get their own. And of course, why do you need one insurance company when we're giving you one right here? And so that was one of the factors. The other factor was convincing the insurance company, or at least putting some doubt in the minds of their people that, hey, maybe this thing is not ERISA. Maybe this thing is bad faith, and you're going to have to sort of convince or face a jury in Arizona that we were within our rights in terminating benefits for this guy who was injured in the service of our country. And at some point, I think they just cried uncle.
Fantastic. Yeah. And so was there a moment in this case where, the sort of the sort of tide shifted and you were able to, you sort of achieved the success and were able to speak to the client about that? What was that moment like? Well,
not only did they roll over, but they sent us a letter that said that basically BJ's claims was going to go sort of into the graveyard. They've a lot of insurance companies have where they really quit evaluating the claim and simply just pay benefits for the term. I dealt with BJ mostly. I dealt with his wife Dede, and she's one of these people who you get married and you're at the altar and you promise to stick with your partner in sickness and in health and for better or for worse. And she's one of the people who really took those vows seriously because she's been a real tiger, trying to keep BJ and her family together. And as is the case a lot of times with disabled people, they're financially stressed to begin with, and then when the insurance money quits coming in, then you wonder whether you have any hope at all. And so it was very rewarding. We were able to let her know that the insurance company was going to start paying benefits again, and was going to they were going to get a nice check in terms of back benefits. And as she let me know, when she got the news, she was in the Walgreens drive-through line and was just crying uncontrollably because she was just so happy because she realized that now they have a chance of making it. They're never going to be in the situation they're in. They're never going to be on easy street. They're never going to be comfortable. But we helped give them a chance, and that's all we could do. And I thought it was important.
Yeah, I'd be curious, and I know Amanda and I have talked about this, but kind of what was your experience, for you in really kind of achieving that result? How did that feel, and kind of what did it mean to you?
Okay, well, and then let me talk to the lawyers out there who haven't done any of this and maybe thinking about doing this. For the past couple of decades, I've been focused on making a living, providing for the family, keeping a roof over our head and food on the table, college for the kids, the occasional ski vacation or cruise. And if you're anything at all like me, you probably have these nights where you wake up in the middle of the night and you wonder if there's any more meaning to your life than just making money and spending money and putting away enough for retirement. And is there any higher purpose? Is there anything more meaningful that you're supposed to do? And if you ever have those thoughts, you should contact these people over here, and you should ask them for to try out on a case, because I have to tell you, this was incredibly rewarding. It gives you a glow in the center of your being that I think is going to stick with me for a while longer, and really helps to reaffirm your faith that at the end of the day, we're all of us Americans, we're all in this together, and we depend upon each other, and the time is going to come when you're going to need somebody's help, and there's going to be somebody there that'll reach out to you and help you, because that's the kind of people we are. So the whole thing was very rewarding, and again, I can't say strongly enough that this is something that a lot more lawyers should be doing, because it's good for you. It's good for your soul.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. As I said to Russ, can I take you with me to all my presentations?
I was just going to say,
it's like, it's like the old saying, sincerity is everything, and if you can fake that, you've got it made.
Great. So I actually just want to follow it up. I reached out to BJ and Dede, and I asked them about their experience working with Russ, and if they would share, just their experience and their feelings about the whole situation. And what they wrote to me was this: Russ was amazing to work with. He took our appeal pro bono and told us he would only take any form of pay if it went to trial, but he didn't think it would. And he was right, it didn't. He referred us to a doctor who conducted neuropsych testing, which showed that my husband had severe cognitive difficulties. After Russ submitted the evidence, not only did the insurance company reverse their decision and reinstate my husband's catastrophic disability plans, but they put the case in the graveyard. Earlier on the day that I was told the result by Russ, I had been crying due to the hardships that arise from dealing with my husband's disabilities. When I read Russ's email that we had won the case, I actually wept tears of joy for a long period of time. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know that without Russ's help, we would not have recovered those disability benefits, which provide much-needed income to provide for our family. Russ was amazing to work with. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything you did for our family.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Take that one to the bank, Russ.
Yeah.
So I wanted to interject something here. And first and foremost, Russ, thank you for your service on 2 counts now for the nation and for our clients at Public Counsel. So you get doubly thanked today. But beyond that, the issue of veterans' rights is a significant one in our country. We hear a lot of stories about veterans who are just lost in the system, as it were. They're not getting treatments, they're not getting benefits, they're not getting what's really due them. And the work that this project is doing is extraordinarily important. And we do need more people, frankly, like Russ to assist us. I would be remiss if I didn't say that you, David, you wear 2 hats here now. You're now the acting directing attorney of this project, but you're also the head of our pro bono work for Public Counsel as a whole. So while Russ is an example of a pro bono attorney on this particular project, obviously we use the services of many pro bono attorneys, and you might want to expand upon that.
It's Public Counsel's core mission really is pro bono, and we depend heavily on the private bar to donate their time in any number of ways to our 9 separate law projects. In any given year, there are nearly 5,000 volunteer attorneys, paralegals, law students who come and support our mission, who do everything from attending a clinic in a court setting where they're meeting across the table with self-represented litigants and helping them sort of navigate the system, to taking on a full-blown asylum case in the immigration rights context, where you might have an asylum seeker who's fled horrific violence in their country of origin and who needs assistance in really telling the fact finder why returning to their country of origin is literally, it would be a death sentence, right? And so, and we even have opportunities to do transactional work for lawyers who specialize in advisory work for corporations, for large entities, for small entities. We do a lot of work in the corporate nonprofit space, where those nonprofits that are providing critical social services supports in our community, they need legal assistance too in order to do the work that they do, to provide those reinforcements in our community. They may need their corporate bylaws looked at. They may have a labor and employment issue, like any other business. They might have a tax issue. They might have a regulatory issue. So lawyers who do any number of things can really jump into any number of spaces here at Public Counsel. Really, the breadth of our opportunities is tremendous, and it's one reason why I feel so proud to be here, to be able to do that extensive work. And with the work we do in children's rights, with adoptions, with guardianships for kids who are really vulnerable and need those supports, all that work is not only so valuable to the clients. But as Russ was pointing out, it is so meaningful for the volunteer attorneys who jump in and really help out and get that experience and that direct connection and that opportunity to really to give hope to somebody who otherwise wouldn't have it. So as Russ said, we'd love to hear from anybody who's interested. I can't say enough about really what I think this kind of work does in terms of uplifting one's own spirit as a professional.
Well, I think you might have found your new sponsperson for a program.
Absolutely.
Right here.
I know.
In Russ Petty. Thank
Yes.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
It's what I always say. You want a speaker, you bring the bread and the mustard, and I'll bring the ham.
I got it. That's great. All right, we're going to close up. I just want to say as a final note, first of all, thank you, all three of you, for coming today, for sharing your stories, your personal stories, and your experiences, and highlighting your very, very important work. If you've been moved by the work that you heard about today, if you're interested in assisting the work in veterans' rights or in anything that we're doing, please push that donate button at the bottom of your Facebook page. Make that donation right now. Any and all contributions are greatly appreciated. We have a special opportunity today, as I've been saying all day. We have a $50,000 match from our Public Counsel board for Giving Tuesday. So every dollar that you give today is going to be matched, dollar for dollar, up to $50,000. So please take advantage and double your money. And remember, to the point about pro bono, every dollar that's donated to Public Counsel is really delivering about $11 of service, very much because of people like Russ and its cohorts, other pro bono attorneys and other volunteers. We can deliver that much more service to our community because of all our volunteers. So thank you for tuning in. Come back again at 2:30. We're going to be hearing about our Immigrants' Rights Project. That's a hot topic. See you at 2:30. Thanks.